Yeah. All right. Well, let's see how many people want to come in here for this. Hello there. Another fun day. Welcome, one and all. Well, since the only two people in here, you're one, you're all. Fight it out amongst yourselves. Okay. Today was a sort of day. Hey, Rhonda, apparently you are one because that's in your name. Hey, Muka, welcome. This is a Q&A. This is anything that you ever want to ask a truck driver. I'll do my best to answer it to the best of my knowledge and ability. So feel free to ask anything. Yeah, Muka, I first time I've seen you here on my live stream, but I believe I got you either from Trucking for Silver, or Walking by Faith. I can't remember which one. I think it was one of those two. You'd have to probably tell me which one. But today was another fun day on the road. Oh yeah, Trucker Z, yes. In his typical half a day, 12-hour live feeds. Hey Roush, welcome. Like I said, this is a Q&A. Ask anything that you want about living as a over-the-road truck driver, about flatbed truck driving, the life of being a truck driver, anything that you could think of. But I guess the first thing is a little rundown today. I made my way from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, a little bit south of Little Rock, about 45, 60 miles-ish away from I-40 to the south, off of US 65 in Arkansas, little town called Pine Bluff. Picked up a John Deere tractor. And if you want to look this up on the internet, it's called an 8295R John Deere tractor. And that's what I'm hauling from Grady, Arkansas to Tappahannock, Virginia. It's about a medium-sized tractor, you know. It is it's about 14 foot wide as it's normally configured, but we take the wheels off to make it a lot narrower. So I'm rolling down the road above what is called legal width. Legal width for a American truck is 8 foot 6 inches wide. That's the width of the trailers. Every box van trailer out there. Hey, Trucker for Life, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So every box trailer out there, every flatbed, every truck carrying beer, every truck carrying Coke, toilet paper, all that, they all meet what is called legal width. And that is 8 foot 6 inches wide. Doing flatbed, you can't have loads that are wider. My current load right now is 10 foot 1.5 inches wide. Yeah, major obvious there. You get promoted. I'm giving you a field promotion here. So also, the standard legal height for a truck on the highway is 13 foot 6 inches high. Anything above that, anything above 8 foot 6 wide, anything overhanging the front or the back, or over a certain overall length, over a certain weight, that is considered legal. You have to have permits. Every state, some counties and some cities have requirements. You have to have a permit from them to be able to take a load that exceeds the legal width, height, length, and weight. You have to have a permit that dictates several things. A, it dictates when you can drive. See, unlike the standard truck that does not need permits, they can drive anytime, day or night. They have no such restrictions. Being as I'm on permits, there are times that I can and cannot drive depending upon the state that I'm in, or the county, or the city that I'm going to be driving in or through. Some states, you have to stop. You can only drive your over-dimensional, load between, during daylight hours, between sunrise and sunset. Some states, you can go a half an hour before sunrise to a half an hour after sunset. Some states like Georgia, it's a half an hour after sunrise to half an hour before sunset. And that is conditional unless the, depending on if the permit says you can do other than that. So I'm going through 3 states with this trip. I'm going through Arkansas, Tennessee, and Virginia. Now, I've only received my Arkansas and my Tennessee permit. So those are the only 2 states I can drive through the way I'm currently set. Now, I am still waiting for my Virginia permit, which will not come in until Monday. So I cannot even enter the state of Virginia, even 1 foot, if I don't have a proper permit for the size that I am. That could lead to a good amount of tickets, fines, points against my CSA score, and other things like that. So currently, I am here in, where am I? Cookeville, Tennessee. I am here for the rest of tonight, all of Sunday, and part of Monday morning while I wait for my permits to get sent to me for Virginia. I could actually proceed a little bit further down the road, right up to the border with Virginia, but there's other issues going on that well. But other than that, not too bad. So that's a general rundown of what's going on with the load I have, and how I'm going down the road. Today was a fairly easy day. There was an accident that I had to pass as soon as I got into Tennessee at about mile marker 35 on I-40, and it's one of those things. It's a big safety issue that I always try to put out in the videos and whatnot. Rear end collision, one truck to another, and I think the truck driver who hit the back of the other truck, I think that individual may have died. The tractor itself was pretty much destroyed. It didn't, from what I could see, it didn't catch on fire, but the driver's seat, back, to where I'm sitting right now in the sleeper berth. That whole part came off, was separated from the truck. The hood and the engine were there. Everywhere where the driver sits and where I'm sitting now in the sleeper is gone. Now, so let me show you. So here's the steering wheel right here. That whole section behind the windshield, the doors, and everywhere back to this back wall here. That whole thing was separated from the truck. Barely hanging on, but it was separated from the truck. I got there just after it happened, maybe 10 minutes at most after it happened. And it was because the way I see it, from my perspective of having been driving vehicles for a good number of years, 30 plus years, I've been driving a car, a truck, a work vehicle, a semi. I have a basic understanding of how they operate and what can happen in an accident. So this is right before they were going westbound, heading towards Memphis from the east. The one truck was coming upon exit 35. The way the scenario that I'm envisioning is that they were in the right-hand lane where the exit ramp was going to get off. Somebody hit their brakes. The truck in front slowed down, hit their brakes. The truck in back was not paying attention, going too fast, and was too close, hit the back of the first truck. The first truck, weaved on over to the left side lane, driving another truck into the median, but wasn't hit, wasn't damaged from what I could see. The second truck, the truck that hit the guy from the rear, basically came to a stop. And then the truck that got rear-ended got up behind him, actually got off the road a little bit. And it just was a matter of somebody going too fast, not paying attention, following too close. Something happened that they couldn't see. The truck in front of them braked, and bam. And I like I said, I think that the individual driving that truck may have died. So please, whenever you are out there, one, if you're not driving a semi, Trucker for Life knows. TJ, I believe I believe you're a trucker. You know how fast something can happen and how different, how little control we actually have compared to a car that's in these trucks. So if you drive a regular car and nothing more, just give us the space. Don't cut us off. Don't slam your brakes on in front of us. Use your turn signal. If we can't get over, just get behind us. That's the safest place for you to be. You are much safer to be behind us than in front of us. But I just want to put that out there because that's something that I always harp on is safety. All right, Trucker for Life. I have been thoroughly satisfied with how this company, Valley Transportation Services, is treating me. I have, I'm basically, 3 days. On Tuesday, it will be the end of my third month. And I've been happy so far. Now, the issue that I had with my truck, with the fuel system, that's a Peterbilt thing. They just wouldn't diagnose it properly. I recently had it in the shop down in Haines City, Florida, again, for the third time, for the same exact thing. Well, that shop down at Rush Truck Center there in Haines Hey, Tom, or Tim, how you doing? The Rush Truck Center in Haines, Florida, actually started at the beginning of the fuel system. Whereas if in Minnesota, near my company's headquarters, they didn't look in the tank. Well, it turns out some idiot put a bottle and other garbage into my fuel tank, causing the fuel problem. And I think I know who did it. I this is an opinion. I want to qualify this. It's my opinion, but it's pretty much a coincidence that it started immediately after this guy hit me when I was in Haines City, Florida on September the 2nd. He hits me in the parking lot, and then immediately after I start having problems with my fuel system and wind up there's pine needles and paper and plastic bottles in my fuel tank. I think I have a pretty good guess as to who did it. I think it was that guy who hit me, and he was upset that I called the police to get a police report. Whatever, But the truck's running good. I mean, this is a 389 Peterbilt, 18-speed Eaton Fuller transmission, 280-inch wheelbase. It's a 2018 model. Dark green. Runs pretty. I really enjoy driving this truck. I enjoy driving, period. I don't care if it was I had a Subaru Legacy wagon. I had a 1992 YJ Jeep. I've had a Ford pickup. I had a Chevy pickup. I had a Buick Skylark. I had a Volkswagen Jetta, a diesel Volkswagen Jetta. Enjoy driving all of them, but I like driving, period. Hey, Trucking Review, how you doing, sir? Hope you and Princess are doing good. Not stuck in too much of that snow out west. But like I said, I enjoy being in full control of the vehicle and driving a vehicle. I do not like automatic transmissions. Never have. I don't like them in cars. I don't like them on motorcycles. I don't like them in a truck. My trucking career, I started in a Volvo 2016 670 with the automatic I-shift, which was right down, right here at your neck, attached to the seat. You shift it right there. Didn't like that one little bit. It was one of the worst. It's just uncomfortable for me to drive in automatic. I mean, just not enjoyable in the slightest. Then I moved over when I left Watkins Shepherd, which is where I was employed for my first job as a truck driver. I went to Melton Truck Lines, and I drove a Kenworth T680, still with an automatic transmission, so it sucks. Hey, Trucker Styles, how you doing, sir? So I still was driving automatic. I still got to have that control that I wanted. You got the cruise control slowing you down. You got the lane, the quote unquote lane assistant stuff. You got that lane assistant thing constantly beeping. Anytime you get over to close to the white line to get around somebody, or you have a what do I do with it? Or you have a you go through a construction site where the lines are all jumbled up, so it's going in your ear all the freaking time, and it was really annoying to say the least. Now, if I can just get this bottle of soda open, I'd be happy. I probably shouldn't have it anyway, but whatever. All right, let me find my my scissors here. Oh well, I guess I'm not drinking that right now. Okay, but like I said, driving this truck where I have a manual transmission, where I am in full control at low speed, especially. That's the thing that I could never tolerate. High speed, yeah, you're driving along, you're on cruise control, you're not doing a lot of shifting. It's where that low speed maneuvering when you're bumping a dock, where you're moving behind a building, you're moving around a construction site at low speed. You got potholes and everything else. You can't go faster, but you want that control. You want higher revs with lower speed, so you have the power you need. It goes when you tell it to go. That was the biggest thing I have a problem with automatic transmissions, especially these electronically controlled ones. You put your foot down on the pedal and say, "I want to go," and it does, like, you got the little hamster wheels going on in the computer brain. It's like, well, do I really want to go? I mean, the truck driver's telling me to go, but do I really want to go? Hell, let's go. And then it'll stall out for no reason whatsoever because it doesn't like how your angle is. It's just one of the things I just don't like it. You never have, and for the most part, you never will. Okay. I don't know what I did with my scissors here. Oh, here they are. Here they are. Small victory for the day. So having a truck that has none of the radar, none of the lane assistant garbage, none of the adaptive cruise control, none of those things that are supposed to be helpful, quote unquote, that they only help the lawyers and the insurance company. Beyond that, they ain't helping a professional driver who actually, takes a little bit of time to do his job properly and to try to master his trade. And unfortunately, that's a problem out here. With not only with truck driving, with a lot of jobs. People are not attempting to be the master of their chosen profession. Yeah, truck driving is not, let's be honest, it's not the greatest skill that you could ever master. But you get a quality truck driver who does his job properly every single time, that's the kind of person you want out there on the highway. Some Joe Schmo who just gets his CDL from CR England or Celadon or whatever company he went to. They trained him. They tested him out. They put him on the road with a trainer. And at the end of that period, he's still not a good truck driver. Because it starts with that guy. I went to truck driver school. I saved up the money, paid my tuition, went to a separate truck driving school, got my CDL. I applied myself to be the best I could be in passing that CDL test. Passed it first attempt. Passed it. I had to do the whole truck for my pre-trip information, for my pre-trip part. I got a 98% on the written part. The verbal part, where you're talking about all the pre-trip stuff you're supposed to, your inspection part, and I passed 100% with my parking stuff. in the yard, and I passed 100% with my driving on the road. And every single day, I endeavor to do that same mentality. I'm going to be the best I can be today, every single day. I plan my route. I plan where I'm going to get off, to a point. There are some places I've never been. I've never stopped at this truck stop. But before I got here, I found out a little bit about it. How many parking spaces? How many paid parking spaces? How many fuel stops? What is the satellite picture look of it? How does it look on satellite? So I see how to get in and how to get out. Where's the best place for me to park? But unfortunately, too many guys out here, like I said, whether you're working at a restaurant, whether you're digging a ditch, or you're driving a truck, or whatever. I just think being the master of your chosen profession, no matter how long you're in it, is an important thing. Well, I don't care what they say about Mexico. They're still making a good classic Coca-Cola. Every once in a while, I'll get a Coke. I'm a Pepsi guy. I'd rather have a Pepsi over a Coke any day of the week. But this classic, I wouldn't even say classic. It's not classic because the Coke in Mexico never changed. So the original Coke is still one of the best, treats that I could have. So I enjoy the hell out of these. I shouldn't have it, but there you go. So, what does anybody want to know about me personally, as far as I can go? About my company, Valley Transportation Services? About truck driving? What my opinions are about the color blue? Or how many times I play hopscotch? I'm open to answering any questions anybody has. Video about trip planning. Yeah, trip planning. I did not do a lot of trip planning. Even up to this day, I don't do a lot of trip planning myself. I have to do more now than I ever have. Simply because when you are dealing with permits, let me grab a permit here. Since I'm done with Arkansas, we'll use that one. So if I was driving a legal non-permit load going from Grady, Arkansas to Tappahannock, Virginia, I have 3-4 dozen ways I can get all the side roads and I'll cut all the corners I want. As long as it's legal for me to be on that road, it's a truck route. I have all kinds of options and detours that I could take if I wanted to. But when you're dealing with a permit like this, and you got all of this information right here detailing what road you can be on, what turns you have to make, and you cannot deviate from this when you're on permits. This definitely has forced me to do a lot more trip planning. But for the most part, I set my receiver's address. I set my pickup's address, and then go. I drive my empty truck to my shipper, pick up my load. Then from there, I figure out where I'm going to stop at 50 miles, where I'm going to stop at 150, 300, 450, 600 miles. And I do that on a daily basis. And I do that pretty much once I get to my first stop to do a load check. Then I say, okay, where am I going to stop at next? I'm pretty lax in doing that. I don't see the need to be so strict. I have to do this. I have to be here. I have to be here. That gets guys in trouble because then they start becoming careless because they're trying to go too fast. I have to get there. Oh, I never operated like that. So trip planning, it can be a good thing. It helps you organize your day. Some people need that more than I do. I like organization, but I can go without it. I'll just stop here. Oh, I remember that place. I like that place. I'll stop there instead of that one. It's never really a necessity for me. Well, local trucking. Well, it's probably one of the most important jobs, in my opinion, in trucking. Because no matter what, it has to get to that end point. If you want to be home every single day, and you have kids, you want to have a house, you want to have a car that you're working on. You want to do other things. You want to be always contacting your family or whatnot. With your friends and family, and you're always, you're more of a homebody. Yeah, local trucking can work for you. But this idea, you see all on other all these YouTube channels, too many guys talking about how local driving is the best driving, how this type of driving is the best. This one's better. Go do this. It's like it only fits you if it fits you. What's the best pair of shoes? Well, 99% of all the stuff out there about shoes is purely about style, nothing about function. What's the latest Michael Jordan shoe or Adidas or, wow, my shoe has the animal tracks on the feet and a pocket in the on the side. Like every other form of trucking, local trucking is necessary. The bread has to get to the store. The Coke has to get to that gas station. The gas station needs cigarettes. The gas station needs fuel, needs oil, needs cleaning supplies. It needs light bulbs. It needs, everything you're going to get at one time or another came on a truck in one way or another. So, every form of trucking is necessary. Local trucking is not my cup of tea. When I started my trucking career, I started on a dedicated run. Bruton, Alabama, from Georgia Pacific plant, carrying rolls of paper up to Atlanta, Georgia. 260 miles each way. I did that for 8 weeks. It was good to learn that quote unquote dedicated run. Then I went to going OTR, traveling the entirety of the country. I also did a little bit of local stuff. Coming out of the terminal in Indianapolis or Berea, Kentucky, or Kearney, New Jersey, doing local furniture and carpet delivery. I've done the local stuff. I've done the local delivery. It can be fun. It can be enjoyable. I did it because I needed to learn. But it really is not what I was aiming at. From day one of deciding to become a truck driver, before I even went to school, got my CDL, got my first job, I wanted to do heavy haul trucking, which is where I'm at now. I'm still learning. I'm still at the very low end of it, but I'm learning. Lexus, how you doing? Didn't see you here before, but welcome. My musical tastes are all over the place. I pretty much grew up listening to the 50s and 60s and a little bit of the 70s, mostly 50s and 60s stuff. Now, this is back in the Stone Age before, iPods and everything like that. You actually have a tape, a reel-to-reel, or a record. I'm 48 years old. So we didn't have the fancy electronics we have nowadays. So, I like the classic rock, the 70s. Pretty much most of the 1980s when I was a teenager, the 70s, 60s, 50s. I like some of the 40s, some of the big band stuff I like. A little bit of jazz. I like not that new fusion jazz or, that really weird Wear Out stuff there. I mean, the more classical type of jazz. Like the blues, I like soul. Classic soul, not the R&B soul stuff they have nowadays. That's I can't listen to that. Heavy metal, especially before 1990. Country before 1980. I like classical. I like flamenco. I like classic Spanish guitar, flamenco guitar. I like, 10 years. I lived for 10 years of my life as a kid in Japan. So I really like traditional classical Japanese music. A little bit of the Chili Peppers I like. There's a few songs I like by them. I think they had a really nice style, good funky style. Some things, are just like, whatever. They're not my main, way of music. I'm a diehard Tom Petty fan. And if you watch my videos, at the beginning of every video, it says Mudcrutched. Mudcrutch was Tom Petty's first band that got him noticed so that he could get a record contract. And I've been a Tom Petty fan forever. Love Steely Dan, the Beatles, the whole British invasion of the 60s. New wave, stuff. Carlos Santana, no, really not a big fan of his. There's a few songs. I mean, the fact that he did a cover of Tito Puente, Oye Como Va, I like that version, but Tito Puente did it first, did it better. Carlos Santana, not too bad. ZZ Top, bit of Robert Palmer, David Bowie, love David Bowie, Steely Dan, James Gang, a little Metallica, Iron Maiden thrown in there, Well, I have started my third year of trucking this past June. I started in my third year. I did 1 year driving van with Watkins Shepherd Trucking, which was totally destroyed, in my opinion, by because Schneider just could not properly operate what Watkins Shepherd was doing. They took a completely independent and profitable company, and in 4 years, totally destroyed it. Now it no longer exists. And all those people who stayed there lost their jobs. Cotty Dean, no, because I'm never on Channel 6. I'm pretty much on Channel 19, the standard channel all the time. The biggest problem is that the too few truck drivers out here, A, have a CB, B, use it. It's like, Why do away? Why not have one of the most indispensable tools of being a truck driver at your hands? When I'm going down the road and I see, a vehicle on the shoulder, police car, tow truck, a stranded, broken down vehicle, whatnot, I call that out to the people that are behind me. Hey, eastbound, right side, mile marker 22. That way, anybody behind me that couldn't see that or is in traffic, hey, mile 22, I need to be watching out on my right-hand side. CB makes everything safer. Unfortunately, too much of these guys out here, they just don't care. They just have no interest in actually driving a truck. I don't want to say the right way, because what is the right way? I've seen guys on YouTube berating other truck drivers because they're wearing sandals. What business of yours what they wear? As long as they can operate that truck safely and properly, it should be none of your business. That's there's too many guys out there with their opinions. I mean, yeah, I have my opinion, but it's worthless. My opinion is pretty much worthless unless somebody gives it value. It doesn't have value because I think it does. It has only value because someone else says, hey, that makes sense. Well, CB used to be standard for truck drivers, and almost every truck driver had one. But everybody nowadays is using this damn thing. And they think this replaces a CB. It doesn't. Your cell phone does not communicate to somebody you don't know. You don't know what that truck in front of you who has a busted tire that he doesn't see, or a fire on the backside of his truck, or his tarp is being ripped off. He can't see that from inside his truck. So having a CB makes the highway safer because you're talking to that guy saying, hey, driver, you have a problem with your trailer. You better pull over and take care of that. Hey, thank you, sir. 10-4, good buddy. I had that image in my head when I was a kid back in the 1970s with Smokey and the Bandit and BJ and the Bear and Convoy. I was one of those kids in the back of the station wagon going, yeah, and the truck driver would honk his horn for me. I was one of those kids. Not as many kids do it nowadays because, the main reason why they don't grow up seeing any kind of trucking on TV, and plus they're doing this. No, but that's just the change of the times. Yeah, and that's the point. Too many truck drivers. I've seen it's bad enough people in the little small cars are doing it, but when a supposed professional is doing it, when a supposed professional driver is doing that same exact thing, knowing what the danger is, that troubles me. That really troubles me that they do that. But, they also speed in work zones. They don't use their turn signals. They don't look in their mirrors. They take no care in being safe on the highway because to hell with that guy over there, I got someplace to be. That person has someplace to be. May not have a clock telling them when and how long they can drive. Granted, they don't have to be there right now, but still. Unfortunately, I wish more drivers had a CB. It's not the fact that they aren't turning them on; they just don't have them. Like I said, I passed that accident on I-40 this morning. 35 miles from the border with Arkansas in Tennessee, past Memphis. I was on the CB for a good 20, 30 miles down the road. Hey, road's closed, accident ahead, all lanes are blocked. Get off at exit 42 to go around it. But I would look over across the highway, across the median, and out of 45 trucks, and I was counting, out of 45 trucks, 3 trucks, I saw CB in there. 3. Not one of those trucks was an aerodynamic truck. The only 3 that had them in there were like my 389 Peterbilt or a Kenworth W900. And I think the other one was a Freightliner Classic. Those were the only people who had a CB that I could see. Now, granted, my eyesight is not perfect. That's why I'm wearing these damn things. My eyesight's good enough at that distance to see that cord hanging down or see something on the dash that looks like a CB. Didn't see it. But that's just the nature of people who are they're not trying to be professionals. They're not trying to master their craft. You cannot be a master woodworker if you don't have a good set of chisels. You just can't. I've been a carpenter. I know what I'm speaking about with this aspect. You can't be a professional master chef if you do not have a good knife. You cannot be a good lumberjack if you don't have a good saw. It's one of those things that, your job has certain tools that you need. And for a truck driver, yes, this is my opinion, but a truck driver must have a CB, must learn how to use a CB. And like TJ there says, you have to turn it on. And when you see something that's a danger on the road, 70-mile-an-hour highway, and traffic is coming to a stop, hey, mile marker 22, brake check. Highway is coming to a stop. Accident at mile 844. Everybody get over the left-hand lane. It's just one of those things where, it's not a requirement. But it makes the job so much easier. All right, here's a bit of a kind of an allegory, I would say. I have spent enough time in the woods, in a camping, survival, primitive technology, whatever people want to call it now, mode. I've spent enough time out in those kind of environments to know how to do certain things. Bushcraft, I think what's called. So I can go out into the woods with an axe, only an axe. I can build a house, I can build tools, I can build furniture. I know how to do that. Can I build that same house if I had a saw, hammer, nails, a square, plumb bob, all the other tools? Yes. But I know how to use the most basic tool first. And for trucking, the most basic tool you need, when you get your first truck, spend the $40, $50, $100, put a damn CB in your truck. You benefit by it. Let's see. Yeah, it's unfortunately the sign of the times. But that goes for everything, Too many people do not know how to drive a manual transmission nowadays in their cars. Everybody gets automatics because they're lazy. I can't stand them. I hate them. What channels do I watch on YouTube? Oh, here we go. Well, if you pull out your handy dandy iPad or phone or whatnot, let me go to YouTube here. Nope, not that channel. There we go. I have several accounts because I separate up my my YouTube to different things. All right, so if you go to your, that's a bit bright. Try to let me dim that down a little bit. All right, that's a little bit better. But if you go here, go to my page. If you go to the page heading, and you go over here to the tab that says channels, all my channels are public. Every channel that I subscribe to on This Trucker's Life is right there. Every channel that I can find for trucking, I have on there. And I have others for everybody who subscribes to my channel as well. So it is a little bit of a mishmash, which I need to go through and organize. But that's the easiest way to find it. So Trucker Style Sean, I have you. TJ Jones, I have him. Trucker for Life, I have Trucker for Life. Trucker Josh, Trucker Jukebox. Almost everybody. There's a few people that I have unsubscribed from because they were so vile and vulgar and just plain stupid. I just could not support them. But if you just go to the channel page, go to the top page for my my channel, then go over to the channels button or tab, click on that, you'll see every single channel that I subscribe to. Now, I just don't get to watch them all. The same with my sailing channel. The same with my regular personal channel. There's no way you can watch everything, And I don't watch regular TV. I haven't watched regular TV in 20 years. A, because I didn't like anything that was on. B, I would watch the reruns and watch what I wanted to watch. And now that I have YouTube, I have iTunes, I have Amazon Prime Video, I watch what I want, when I want, how I want. When the latest John Wick movie came out, I hit the pre-order button on iTunes and waited 3.5 months for it and watched it when I finally got it. Excuse me. So but I also go talking quickly back on what do I listen to while going down the road. I listen to a little bit of the news. Usually 10, 20 minutes, then I'm done. I'm tired of hearing the same damn thing over and over again. I listen to the Catholic channel on Sunday so I can listen to Mass. Because unfortunately, being a truck driver, I don't get to go to church that often. So I listen to Mass and, read my Bible and try to keep myself from going to burning in hell. Not the kind of thing I want for my immortal soul. That may be selfish, but that's kind of the intent God gave us. So there you go. I also listen to audiobooks from Audible. I read, not when I'm driving, but when I settle down, I'm done editing a video or whatnot, not doing a live stream, I will read a little philosophy, a little science, history, and of course, just basic science fiction, fantasy is my preferred, genre to read. Play a little game or two on the phone or the iPad. Michigan Mister, tell us what you do for the First Amendment. I use it. That's the most important thing. You not only have the God-given right of the First Amendment, speech, assembly, religion, association, and the same with all the other rights that are enshrined by the Constitution, preventing the government from taking it away from you. Not given to you by the government, protected from the government. And basically, the simple fact is, I use it every day. I wish, everybody talks about a one world government. One world government is an evil, evil thing. Well, if the one world government was America, and we were able to extend those same God-given rights to every other human being, and have every other human being value them and not seek to take them away from anybody, which, well, just plain so fact, men want power, and they'll do anything to get it, and they will infringe on those rights. Our founding fathers had enough damn sense to say, you, the American government, may not take these away from the citizens. The first, second, third, where we at? We're at 29 right now, if I remember right. Something like that. Look what happened when they put a constitutional amendment in banning alcohol. What happened to America when they banned alcohol? Bootlegging, cross-border smuggling with Canada and Mexico, organized crime, mass murder. Everybody under the freaking sun was violating it. So they had to repeal it because it was a stupid idea. Because it wasn't protecting people from the government. It was the government taking something away from the people, and it didn't work. Every time the government tries to take something away, it doesn't work. The people will revolt. It may be a small thing. And we have a lot of knuckleheads nowadays out there who are trying to suppress other people from speaking. You can't come to our university and speak because you're a meanie. You're a hateful person. All the while they're spewing hate themselves, and they are living under that protection of the Constitution. Yet they're telling other people that somebody else, because they don't like their opinion, they don't like what they're saying, ought to have their rights stripped away from them. So, like I said, what I do for the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, on down, is I use them every day. It may not seem like it. I mean, look what I'm doing right now on YouTube. You can't do that everywhere in the world. You cannot just sit down and start talking and blabbing about the government, religion, your next door neighbor. You can't do that everywhere else in the world. America is the only country that has that enshrined. All right, what are your future plans? Well, hopefully tomorrow morning, God will let me wake up. God will let me survive the night and not die in my sleep so I can get up and screw up another day. That's my near future plans. But my overall arching goal is rebuilding everything I lost after a bout of homelessness and unemployment. So I'm a born Marylander from Baltimore, Pikesville, to be more accurate, northwest corner of Baltimore, just inside the Beltway. No, I'm not. Well, quote unquote, yes, I'm homeless because I don't own a home, but I do have a residence, thanks to my sister, who brought me down to Georgia from Maryland, helped me get back on my feet. But for the moment, this is the palatial estate of Robert Simmons right here. This is my world. I commute that way 2.5 feet, then commute back here. This is where I'm living right now. I'm rebuilding everything that I lost. It's slow, but I'll get where I want to be. Like I said, born in Maryland. I'm a Marylander. It's no longer my home because of the way the state is gone. I'm temporarily out of Marietta, Georgia, where my sister lives. But for the most part, I'm in the truck 24/7. But my plans are to be moving up to Lake Flathead, Montana, buy a little bit of land, build a house, settle down there. That's what I want. For the Second Amendment, same thing as the First. As soon as I move to Montana, I will be, going through the process, getting gun, getting firearms, rifles, shotgun, pistol, for my protection and for my use. As long as it's not illegal, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, nobody should have a problem with it. But that's another story. YouTube, a way for you to garner a living. Yeah, it's possible, but you need to have millions of viewers that gives you millions of views. They're watching the advertisement. Then YouTube pays you, a penny or half a penny per view or whatever it is. But I don't do YouTube for that. Yes, I'm up to like 607 subscribers right now. But I didn't start doing the YouTube thing to try to make a living at it. I started doing YouTube as a diary of my trucking career. That's basically the only reason I do it. Now, yeah, there are things that I do for the community of you guys watching me. You know, there's certain videos. You know, I'll do the warp speed videos. I'll do the cooking videos, the tools of the trade videos. You know, the live feeds. Not just for myself, because I already talked to myself enough as it is. You know, let you guys, hear me whine on about, stupid crap. Michigan, just use it. That's all you got to do. Don't let anybody take it from you just because they say you're being mean to them, or you're getting out the hate speech and blah 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 blah. No. Use your God-given rights every day. That's all you got to do. And when somebody tries to take it from you, fight tooth and nail to keep it. That's all you got to do. You don't have to be a part of some organization. You don't have to do this or do that or have a secret handshake like the Loyal Order or Water Buffalo. Just use it. Hey, Ag Hauler, what you up to, buddy? Right now, I am in Cookeville, Tennessee, right here off of I-40, between Nashville and Knoxville. Yeah, I mean, the past couple of nights here down in Arkansas and in Texas, it's gotten down to the freezing point. I ain't seen snow since the last time I was up in, October the 11th when I was up in Michigan was the last time I actually saw any kind of snowfall. But it's not really that cold yet. I mean, yeah, I'm wearing the beanie. Yeah, I got my lumberjack flannel on. I'm wearing long pants instead of shorts each and every single day, but it's not too bad yet. I mean, I haven't put in the anti-gel in the tank yet. I mean, I haven't broke out the hot cocoa yet, but leave the house at 2 a.m. Ah, that sucks. Anytime it's dark outside, I hate driving. But I'd rather leave the house at 2 a.m. and drive to the sunrise more than I prefer driving at night going into the night. You know, if I have to drive in the dark, I'd rather do it in the morning. Not after I've been driving for 6-7 hours. Well, that's the thing. I don't understand why some of these guys have a problem with parking when there's plenty of parking out there. You just got to make use of it properly. If you have a problem finding a parking spot at 7 p.m., near a major city, and because you wanted to get a little bit farther that day, well, that's your fault. Oh, I don't want to pay for the parking. Boo-hoo. You're lucky you get free parking. They don't owe it to you. That's one of the number one things about truck drivers that I have an attitude problem with. Parking. A, not parking in a parking spot. B, whining about paying for one. C, not being able to back up into a parking spot. Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, some people like that. I mean, a buddy of mine who's looking for a new job because his job got destroyed by Schneider. He liked driving at night. He got up at 2 a.m. every morning, driving in that dark every single day. I prefer going as early as I can in the day. If I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I can go much farther. Yeah, as I put the sugary calories in my body. You're talking about eating less. I just had some mediocre barbecue here at Cookville and Lefty's Barbecue. I wouldn't recommend it. Would not recommend it at all. That was a waste of $20. So what did I do when I went back into the pilot here? Picked up a couple of bottles of Mexican Coke and some donuts. Oh, yeah, of course they're out, They love playing in traffic. Well, I've never hit a deer in a car or a truck. Never hit a deer in a car or truck. I've hit a seagull, little sparrows, a turtle. I've hit those. The only deer that ever got hit was one that hit me on a bicycle. Came right down the hill and just laid my ass out while I was riding on a bicycle. Cody, 20 pounds and 2 years of driving. That's a big thing. Because it is a sedentary job. And there's not much to do for 10 hours a day behind that wheel. You can get real bored, and snacking is one of those things. It's so easy to reach down and grab a bag of M&Ms and do this all day. And you're not burning any calories. Number one thing, try to stick to the water. 99% of what I drink is water. And if you want like a sports drink or something, I use this. It's a keto drink. No carbohydrates, no sugar. Those are the two things you want to just totally eliminate. Totally eliminate sugar. Totally eliminate the carbohydrates. Stick to butter, fat, beef jerky. That's a better way to go. Eat a salad. That's one thing I think a lot of drivers don't look at when they're on the road. A, cook in your truck, which I do. I mean, $10 Walmart, hot plate, pans, knives, cutting board, pots, pans, dishes. I try to cook in the truck as much as possible. But for a sports drink, I use the keto, powder. Get these on Amazon. Just type in keto sport drink. These are great. Chocolate, strawberry, peaches and cream, cookies and cream, vanilla, orange, lemon. All pretty good. Yep. And I got my resistance bands right here as well. If they're light, they're out of the way. Right there. You can stack them up all in one handle. It works, 20, 30 minutes of doing that in all kinds of different positions really works. I have a yoga mat I have yoga programs on the iPad and iPhone. That's the biggest thing. We've all seen the 450-pound guy trying to crawl back into his truck. We've all seen the guy who he needs his own regimen. Somebody to his own personal exercise guy. Because he's hurting himself. Yeah, I mean, yoga is because yoga, Pilates, bodyweight exercise, they're all the same thing basically. But it's easy. Well, I can't say it's actually easy, but tons of free programs and apps on the phone, on iTunes, that you can just download on the phone. It doesn't require any equipment. I got a yoga mat, but it doesn't require any equipment. You do your poses. Increases your balance, increases your strength. If you're doing the right workout, you'll sweat your ass off. I mean, yoga's been used for almost 5,000 years. 5,000 years, yoga's being used. It's been a benefit to people who've been using it. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody ever said yoga didn't work for me. Yeah, I shouldn't have any of these freaking donuts, but I earned the right to treat myself like crap. But trucking is not an easy job on your time. The fact that you're away from what you want to be doing a lot of times, it can stress you out. Deal with the traffic, dealing with the weather, dealing with the time, dealing with customers. But I enjoy it myself. But let's see. Ag hauler, I am currently taking a John Deere 8295R tractor with extensions and dualies to Tappahannock, Virginia, from Grady, Arkansas. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a permit for Virginia, so I'm going to be stopped here in Cookeville until Monday morning. Since I'm not going to be able to deliver on Monday anyway. The couple of extra miles that I got to put on the road, ain't going to make a difference. But, permits is permits, and especially Ag hauler knows how we have to abide by what they say. As a heavy haul, oversized hauler, we don't have the freedom that your conventional box truck or legal load flatbed driver has. Now they can get up and go anytime they want. We have to worry about sunrise and sunset. We have to worry about holidays. We have to worry about what roads we can and can't go on. We have to go. We have to be taken off the main highway and detoured on some back little country bumpkin road just because they don't want it on the highway, even though the dang thing will fit. Where were you in Montana? Because once I got enough money saved, I'm buying a place up in Lake Flathead area. Kalispell, Polson, Swan Lake. I'm going to buy a piece of land up there and just get away from the East Coast. Like I said, I'm a Baltimorean. I grew up on the East Coast with all them damn people. I lived in Japan for 10 years of my life around all those millions of people. Right now, I'm based currently out of Marietta, Georgia. All them people, too damn many of them. But I want to go where I can look up, see the stars at night. I want to have winter every single year. And I want less people